All right, this is Aaron from the Waterboys College Football Show. Obviously, one of the biggest trending topics right now is around the bowl games and bowl game season. This story really started to gain some traction when Notre Dame decided they weren't going to play in their bowl game. They feel like they got snubbed from the college football playoff. Their coach feels that way. Players feel that way. Their athletic director has been very outspoken, gone on a bunch of different shows talking about how they should have been in the college football playoff. And so they're not going to play in their bowl game. They rejected invites to play in a bowl game. Now, I grew up in an era of college football that maybe if you're a young college football fan, you don't remember a whole lot of the BCS era and before, where bowl games were a huge deal. They were something that was used to measure success for coaches and for teams. You would see a lot of times when a coach would be up for some sort of contract extension or maybe another job, you would see that so many bowl appearances. That was a big number. That was all before the NIL era and now what we're into, which is the rev share era. One of the big things for bowl games was it was the one time that college athletes could get free stuff without infringing on any sort of NCAA violation, whether it was PlayStations, headphones, watches, shoes, swag, all that stuff. We don't need that now. And a lot of college athletes don't need that now, especially in your Power 4 schools. Notre Dame athletes have access to something that their predecessors didn't have access to. Now, bowl games is a weird thing. When we started the college football playoff era, the first thing I ask is, what are we doing with the bowl games? Now, we took the New Year 6 bowls. If you remember, we referred to them in the college football playoff or in the BCS era as the New Year 6 bowls. Those were your main bowls, and if you were, privileged enough to be in one of those bowls, it was considered a very successful year. Those are now part, for the most part, of the college football playoff. But there's still a lot of really cool bowls out there. Companies have gotten very creative with the bowls, whether it's the Cheez-It Bowl or the Pop-Tart Bowl. There's a lot of stuff out there. There's also a lot of bowl games that don't matter. But again, it was free stuff. We're in the era they don't need free stuff. So what does that mean for bowl games? I think bowl games, like conference championships, are going to go the way of the dodo bird. I just don't know what we need with bowl games. Is it a great way to cap off a season if you're a non-Power 4 conference team? 100% absolutely. I could see college football programs that don't have the type of revenue. They don't have the type of money that some of these big schools have. You want to be able to take your team there. They can get access to a lot of things they can't, normally get. Maybe they don't have a lot of opportunity with NIL. There's not going to be a lot of rev share there. I understand bowl games for that perspective. I think this once again brings up the conversation of the Power 4 conferences needing to have a real sit-down, come-to-Jesus talk with what they want to do going forward. These conferences are massive. These TV deals continue to go up. There are a lot of brands that are now affiliated with schools that are pumping a ton of money into the program. But again, you have a lot of college football coaches that probably making a bowl game and having a bowl game appearance, they get some sort of bonus for that. And I'm sympathetic to that. I understand that that is a part of this process. I have never been a college football fan that got really excited for bowl games outside of the traditional, in the BCS era, New Year's 6 bowls. I never was excited as a University of Oklahoma supporter that we would be playing in UConn in some bowl game out in Arizona. I never got excited about it. A lot of times, some of those bowl games are not attended well. I can remember seeing pictures of the Arizona Bowl, not attended well. But again, there's still a lot of money there. There's still a lot of money on the TV side of it. I think this, once again, brings up the conversation, rather than the conference championships, rather than the bowl game series, you need to have a play-in set of games for the college football playoff. If you're worried about the bowl games and you're worried about that teams are going to start opting out of it, take those traditional New Year's Six bowls that are a part of the college football playoff, expanded into the second layer of bowl games that we all as college football fans recognize are solid, really good bowl games, and make those a part of the play-in. That's the only way, in my opinion, that you can do it. Add more bowl games that are traditionally really good bowl games to the college football playoff, create a play-in game series, and do it that way. Even when I say that, I don't like the idea of that, because I like the idea of that Oklahoma is going to have Alabama coming to Norman for the first round of the college football playoff. But I also understand that one hand washes another in this situation. I understand that there's a lot of money, there's a lot of TV, there's a lot of brands that get involved with these bowl games, and conferences make money from them. I understand all of that. But I'm not going to fault a program like Notre Dame that says, listen, for us this year, it was college football playoff or bust. We've got a kid that's going to be in New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. We're not worried about going and playing in some bowl game. That doesn't matter. That we have kids that are probably going to opt out of them. And I'm not going to fault athletes for wanting to opt out of playing in a game that doesn't matter whether they're going to stay at that program or they're going to transfer. That bowl game for that college athlete actually means nothing. And before you guys that are watching this get too worked up, oh, it's all about the kids, your favorite NFL players opt out of the Pro Bowl every year. Why? Because it's just another thing that they got to do. They got to risk injury, whether they're playing at tackle or flag. They've got to, they want to go home and spend time with their families. It's the holiday season. College athletes want to go home, spend time with their families. They don't want to travel to go to some bowl game for something that doesn't matter in front of a less than full stadium. I'm not faulting the schools. I'm not faulting the players. I'm not faulting the coaches. But this does bring to light another issue that the NCAA has, is that the NCAA is realizing faster and faster that their control over Power 4 conferences and Power 4 teams has dwindled so much more than I think they even thought it would with the ushering into the college football playoff. Bowl games don't matter. I'm not faulting anyone for opting out of them, but if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments.